Alrighty. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our very first virtual GameCon event. I know this format is a little bit different to those who have been to other GameCon events in the past few years, but this is our very first virtual one. And if you didn't know already, GameCon is a annual showcase where we showcase all games created by Ontario Tech game development students throughout the year. So I'm sure you've seen some of the games that are being showcased right now in the Discord server for GameCon, but now we're going to start off by having our stream. So the first portion of the stream is going to be a pre-show. So I'm going to be one of your hosts for today. My name is Safa Nazir. I am a fourth year game dev student at Ontario Tech. And yeah, I'll be the person hosting the pre-show for today. So, if you're curious, in the pre-show, we're going to be talking to teams from all different years, from years 1 to 4, just learning a little bit more about them and what they've been working on this year. So, yeah, without further ado, we can get started. The first studio that we're going to be talking to is a second-year studio, JPEG. All right, hi JPEG. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Doing good.
GameCon Day.
Yeah.
Are you excited?
Yeah.
Because I believe this was technically your first GameCon since last year didn't
Yeah.
get to happen. So yeah,
Exactly.
nice.
Mm.
So what I want to ask you guys is to introduce yourselves and your roles to the audience, and also tell me a little bit about your game, Mecca Mayhem.
All right. I'm Johnson J, and I was the lead software engineer.
I am Matthew McPherson, and I am the game designer. All right, so our game is Mecca Mayhem. It is a third-person shooter, couch party arena brawler designed for 2 to 4 players to play together. So you battle against your friends in a simulated battle arena and try to be the player to get the most kills. So you have weapons that can run out of ammo, and when they do, you have to run around and find new ones. So you have to be constantly on your toes, picking up new weapons and items. You also have a dash ability that lets you zoom around the arena faster, to dodge your opponents, or grab something faster, all sorts of different things you can use it for. We also have 2 game modes, one where you have to be the first person to get a certain number of kills to win, or the other game mode which has a timer. So whoever has the most kills at the end of the time limit is the winner. And that's the general gist.
All right, awesome. So I'm sure a lot of people have noticed, but the game Mecca Mayhem is not super new to everyone. We've seen you guys talking about it, so I can tell that you guys are really proud of your game. So my second question for you guys is, what is your favorite part of the game? Your answers can be different for each one, or a part that you're most excited to show to other people.
I'm personally really happy with the whole game loop and how it feels to just experience the different parts of the game, like how the main menu flows to the character select, flows to the game, and how the game end flows to the leaderboard, flows back to the main menu. I'm really happy with how that came out.
I was very pleased with just how smooth the controls ended up feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And we were all happy on the team with how the 3D models came out and just the general look of the arena, because we had it divided into different sections based on colors, and we all thought that was very nice to know what was like, oh, this part's on this section of the map and this part's over here, and the colors help you all figure it out.
I actually did play your game for a little bit, or I saw someone play it for a bit. So yeah, your game is looking really cool. So I want to know where you got your inspiration from. Is there any other games that you looked at while you were coming up with the idea for Mecha Mayhem?
One of our teammates showed us, I think it was like San Francisco 2049 or something. It's a very old game in a similar vein where it's a couch party arena brawler with cars. And we thought, hey, we can do something like that. That sounds fun, especially as a second-year game. It's pretty ambitious too because it's a lot of moving parts.
Mm-hmm.
But we're really happy with what we have in the end.
Yeah.
Nice. So I guess my final question for you today is, since I know you guys are in your second year, I know you have to make an engine from scratch. I understand that it is very painful. So are there any major challenges that you faced while you were developing your game, and what did you do to kind of get past those?
The engine was not terribly difficult, but a lot of bugs came out, obviously, especially when it came to doing retrofitting in parts that we learned in the course, such as deferred rendering and getting into shadow maps. We had to redo the whole rendering system for that, as well as worrying about memory leaks and a lot of other things that we didn't really realize were a huge issue. And also game balance. The game designer can attest for that.
Yeah, we definitely did several tests. We did the play test nights. I think there were 3 of them. We went to all 3 and got our questionnaires. We clicked all the weapon stats several times. We placed down the items in a little different spot. But I think the balance in the end was pretty good.
Well, thanks, you guys. Yeah, I've seen the game. It looks pretty cool to everyone that's watching.
Thanks.
After stream and stuff is done, check out Mecca Mayhem. I know they've put in a lot of effort and a lot of work into the game, and it's looking pretty cool. Yeah. So, thanks, you guys, and have a good rest of your GameCon. Then it was great talking to you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so that was JPEG with Mecca Mayhem. If you guys haven't seen their game already, I already said this, but it is looking great and they've done a lot of good work. The next group we're going to be talking to is Sedna Games. They are a third-year studio working on Earth's Light. Okay, so here with us is Sedna Games. Hi, Sedna Games. How are y'all doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Not too bad.
Well.
Not too bad. I see that. I think all of you have your Sedna T-shirts.
Yes,
I
we
unfortunately
do.
don't. I'm a
Oh,
fake
no.
fan, but
Oh no, that's
Anthony
okay.
wears it all the time except when he's supposed to.
When
Yeah,
you're supposed to.
yeah, just how it works out.
Oh well,
Uh.
that's fine. So for the people that don't know you guys, because I of course know you guys, do you want to introduce yourself, what role you had in the development of your game, and also tell us a little bit about Earth's Light?
Yeah, cool. So we're Sedna Games. I'm Hamraj. I'm our level designer and project manager on the team. We have Carter here, who's our sound designer, composer on the team, and we have Anthony here, who is our lead programmer and general programmist who does everything within the game. And so Earthlight is a action platformer game with 4 animal companions in which you are trying to save Canada's ecosystems.
Okay, nice. So yeah, I have seen a little bit of your game already, but for the people that haven't or they don't know that much about it, so I've heard a little birdie told me that Earth's Light was being made in collaboration with the Toronto Zoo, which is really interesting. So do you want to tell me a little bit about how that whole process has been like working with an external company?
Yeah, so it's been a really interesting process because I think this is one of the only GDW teams to ever have an experience like this, and honestly, it's been great from top to bottom. Like it's just been a great time to be able to, get all these ideas and all these resources and information from some place as great as the Toronto Zoo, and who doesn't love the zoo, right? Free trips to the zoo, it's amazing. But it's just been a great time overall. It's just been able to help us and guide us in the right direction with the game.
Okay, awesome. So actually, this is because I either forgot or you guys haven't mentioned it. But I know the four animals. Do they have names? I need to know if they have names.
They don't have names. No. Well, I mean, yes, one of them technically has a name.
The bison is named Vlad, and
Vlad, nice.
that's all we know. That's all we know so far.
Okay,
Based
nice.
off the actual bison Vlad from the zoo.
Yeah, that lore is that's a DLC. On that.
Alrighty. So I know you guys, of course, have been working with the Toronto Zoo, so that's kind of where your concept came from. But do you have any other fun stories of how you kind of came up with the gameplay and mechanics of the game?
Yeah, so we actually looked at a lot of different games and such. One of the first ones was Warframe.
Warframe for an animal game.
Yeah, it was, over the shoulder third person. That's the direction we were going at first. But then we also were looking at some stuff from Godzilla for some reason. And one of my favorite parts, one of my favorite little mechanics that you can do in the game is when you jump as the turtle, you do like a little spin. And there's like this spinning turtle from Godzilla. I don't know, but it was just that's like one of my favorite parts, like little mechanic, like when you jump with the turtle spins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw I was watching someone play the game, and every time they had the turtle selected, they just jumped in the air and spun. It was the greatest thing ever. It made me really happy. So I can tell that you guys have been working really hard on this. I know Hamraj has mentioned that he spent, along with the rest of you, like long nights working on this game. So my next question for you guys is there any part of the game that you're... Oh, if my camera flashes green, I don't know why it does that, but anyways, do you have a part of your game that you're most proud of, aside from the spinning turtle, which I agree is like one of the greatest parts?
Oh, that's honestly a big one, and I gotta say it's, other than the sound effects and the music being easily the best part of the game. No, really though, the Arctic level, when everything just started to click, that's when I found, at least, that everything, I don't know, it felt like a game at that point, and it felt like everything was working in tandem. Everything from the visuals, Hamraj's amazing level design, all the great animations that our artist Jeremy's been doing, and all the VFX that the programmers have been doing. Like, everything was just coming together perfectly, and I don't know, at that point it felt like we had something that we're definitely able to be proud of.
Nice. So we're nearing the end. I know one of you had mentioned that you're planning on continuing working on the game, but my, I guess, final question for you guys would be that throughout like the 8+ months of development, well, I'm guessing it's 8 months, 2 semesters, are there any major lessons that you've learned, both good and bad?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Communication is key.
Yeah, communication really is a big thing. We've always had a larger team. We're on the larger side of the GDW teams. We're 7 members. And it was a struggle to have everyone find their place and find their role on the project. And so, just making sure we're always open, honest, with everything that we do, upfront with, what roles we want to be working on. And yeah, just making sure that, everything goes smooth from there, and once we realize that, it's been smooth sailing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, that's good to hear. I hope you guys continue working on this game. I would love to play it like in its final form.
Stay tuned for August.
August.
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting. Audience, stay in August. Earthlight officially launching. I will be pre-ordering. Don't even worry. Yeah, so I guess that's all from me. It was really great talking to you guys. For everyone here watching, go check out Earthslight, play as Vlad the Bison. I'm sure you'll have a good time. Check out the Arctic level because I've seen it. It's beautiful. And yeah, these guys have put a lot of effort into their game, so I hope you can all appreciate that. So yeah,
Thank you.
thanks for coming out, you guys.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
having us.
Oh, no problem.
I just put the
you
link
guys
in the
later.
Twitch chat.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
There you go.
Okay, so that was Sedna Games with Earthslight. Be sure to check them out. After Sedna Games, we're going to be talking to our first-year studio, Jaffa Studios, with Season's Greetings. So I'm really excited to see what they have. Okay, so here we are with Jaffa Studios. Hello, Jaffa Studios. How are you guys doing today?
Good. We're doing good.
Nice. Very first GameCon. You guys are in your first year. This is your first official showcase, I guess. How are you feeling? Nervous? Excited?
Nervous.
Bit of both,
Definitely nervous.
Nervous and also
Both,
kind
yeah.
of proud, I guess.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Come along.
Yeah, it's definitely like when I was in my first year, I was so scared. I thought my game was horrible. But then when you actually see people come and play your game and see that they actually enjoy it, it's like
Yeah.
the best feeling ever. It feels so rewarding.
It's like so worth it in the end. It's also like
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, it really is.
All right. So before I go forward, would you guys like to introduce yourselves, your roles, and also a quick summary of Season's Greetings?
Okay, I'll start. I'm Josephine. I'm one of the programmers.
my name is
Uh,
Azifa Alam. I work on environment and like any of the transition screens. Pretty much a digital artist.
I'm Natasha, and I worked on the pixel art and characters. So Season's Greetings is a roguelite action. Yeah, today's not my day. Roguelite action game that follows Frostbite trying to wipe out what's left of the forces of fall, so that so that seasons can change.
Oh, yeah, I've seen a bit of your game, and we were actually playing through it earlier. And yes, it looks so cute. I love it. And before I ask any questions about your game specifically, Jafbo, what does it stand for? I want to know the story behind it.
Okay, I guess Joey can take over because she's pretty
Oh
much.
god. Okay, so it's an acronym. We joked, especially last semester, that our solutions to some things, because we were learning how to use SpriteLib. So we would joke that our solutions were pretty janky, but operational. So we decided, hey, janky but operational, that's really funny. We should make that our team name. So now we're Jaffa Studios.
Awesome. I'm glad I heard that because I was honestly very curious because it's on all capital. I was like, I wonder what it could stand for. But I am very happy to know this now. So now about Season's Greetings. So I know this is your big project, first year university. So do you have any fun stories of how you came up with the concept for Season's Greeting, or are there any games that you took reference from while working on it?
I think Natasha can handle most of this one.
I feel like I'm getting piled on here. Yeah, so Season's Greetings story, like concept wise, was mostly just oh, it's fall and it's going to be winter soon, so why don't we do something with that? And like, yeah, I just played around with that idea a bit until we actually got it together. And then yeah, we took a lot of inspiration from other games like Binding of Isaac and you know, the original Legend of Zelda to like, or for like how our rooms are made and like enemies and stuff.
Nice. I know Isaac, technically he's not talking, but he's also part of Jaffa, and I always saw him playing Binding of Isaac like all the time, and I was like, is he doing that just because he has the same name, or is there any other reason?
It's his addiction.
It's yeah.
I'm
Please,
glad-
chat, please get Isaac some help for his crippling Binding of Isaac addiction.
Please, the intervention didn't work.
We're kidding.
See, at
He's
least it has positives. Like, it actually helped with the development of your game instead of, you know, like messing with it. So that's good.
we're kidding. He's a great student.
Yeah,
He doesn't need help. He's fine.
He's a great.
My other question, I don't have this written down, but I'm just curious. So when we were playing through the game, I heard that the art team had made so many assets for the game. So I just wanna, like, did you use anything to help? Like, how did that go? Because that's too many assets. How was that process?
So the thing, what happened was like, so we have course alignments obviously for 2D animation. So first we're just like, oh, we have to have like 3D, or like 3 animated like assets. So I'm like, okay, we could do that. And then a few days later, like it says, oh, you need 3 environments instead. So we're like, oh, let's email Gavin, but at the same time, just like make sure we get stuff done, just in case we actually do need 3 environments. So 5 o'clock Tuesday, I'm like, okay, time to Noom. Get 2 to 3 whole new environments down. So like I've been done, like I did like a whole new like winterish environment, and then one for like a proper like winter environment, and then be done like at 9 Wednesday morning. So and then
We're all terrified of her.
Yeah, legit.
So like I got like 2 whole environments in less than a day. So yeah, and then Joey also got like room generation for like the programming side. Like in the past 3 or 2 days has been insane. But
we revamped so much in the last week. Crunch is terrible.
We said we were done on like Monday. Yeah. We said we were in a very good spot, and then we turned around and like added 5 things. It's like,
talked to James. Is like, hello, welcome to our 4th like review session. Like, extra, and then after it's like, yeah, we're pretty much done. Switch around by like the next week. Nothing, almost nothing that we showed was like half the things were just changed, which is cool at the same time. It's just like shows like how much potential we have. Like I'm proud of everyone.
Yeah, that's definitely impressive. I didn't know you were making, like when you said you made 2 different environments in like like a day.
Yeah,
that's crazy. So that's very impressive. And of course, no crunching. Crunching is bad, but just keep up that work ethic, and I'm really excited for what you guys will make in the future.
Thank you.
Yeah. So it was really nice talking to you guys. I love talking to you guys. You're all funny. And Season's Greetings looks amazing. It is a great game. So for everyone watching, if you haven't played it yet, please do. It's really great. The music's nice. The art is beautiful. And yeah, overall, it's a pretty good game. So thank you, Jaffa Studios, for tuning in and talking to me.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
It was my pleasure. Well, I'll see you guys around then. Good luck for the rest of GameCon if you're getting marked or anything.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so that was Jaffa Studios with Season's Greetings. Next up, we have our second first-year team, QM Studios with the game The Beyond. Okay, so here with us is QM Studios. So hello, how are you guys doing today?
Pretty
We're doing
good.
great.
Good to know. Nice. I know this is your very first GameCon. How
It
are we
is.
feeling? Excited?
Excited.
Excited.
Like
Tad nervous.
sense of accomplishment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think over the years the nervousness I think goes down a little. So
Mm.
hopefully next year if GameCon is actually in person,
Hopefully.
yeah, it'll get better. You won't be that
sure,
nervous,
yeah.
trust me. So so for the audience, people that don't know you guys, do you guys just want to introduce yourself, your role, and tell us a little bit about the Beyond?
Absolutely. I'm Josh. I am the director and designer of The Beyond. And with me, I have Carolyn.
Hello.
She is our artist. And will be, if you go play our game, you'll see all the amazing art that she's done.
Thank you.
To talk a bit about our game, The Beyond is a side-scrolling horror game that has a little bit of fighting in it, so it is quite fun, if I do say so myself. Yeah.
All right, cool. So I've seen a bit of your game and I've seen the concept art. So for I don't expect you guys to know or like the audience, but I really love horror games. And when I saw that your game was part of the horror genre, I was really interested. So I want to ask, what was the inspiration behind your game? And also, are there any other horror games that you took inspiration from?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, for our game, I was really wanting that kind of otherworldly, kind of psychological kind of horror type deal. So we took inspiration from things like Yumeniki and Franbo, but placed it into a kind of side-scrolling environment with that kind of horror otherworld aspect. Another game that I would say closely relates to ours is Inside, if you've ever played it.
I haven't played it, but I've seen it quite a bit. So okay, yeah. I'm glad you said Yuminiki because I was wondering if you guys took any inspiration from like any old like RPG horror games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Nice, nice. So since this is your first big game project, since you guys are in your first year, did you have any or did you come across any obstacles while you were making the game, and how did you kind of get past them?
A lot of the obstacles we faced were just getting kind of used to the coding environment that we had. As since we're in our first year, it was kind of new to us. But as we played with it and as we went through and coded, we got more used to it. So I think it's just the getting used to it aspect that we had trouble with at first, but then we really dug deep and found where we wanted to be. I'll pass it off to Carolyn too, because she has some stuff.
As the artist, it's not like you can do whatever. I had to like a lot of collaboration between our programming team and our marketing team. On the programming side, I had to make sure like the environments that I made, that I drew up, worked with the engine and like worked with the level design they had. And then with the marketing side, I was called and like, hey Carolyn, could you like get this asset so I could put it into the promo video? And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I work as for primary like most of my game projects that I've been a part of. I also work as an artist, and I agree it's not easy. You have to like make sure everything works with the software technology you're using, and then also make sure it looks cohesive, it looks nice. You have to do so many iterations. So yeah, it takes a while. But I'm glad you guys are where you are at right now. So after that question, moving on to something positive. What is your most favorite part of the game, or a part that you're most excited to showcase to everyone who's here at GameCon today?
I'm really excited just for like people to like get to hear our music and stuff, because I feel that that really encompasses the atmosphere of our game. Also, the last level, which we have named the tower level, makes it it's really fun just to play. I've had a few friends play it just for testing purposes, and they really enjoyed it.
Oh, that's great. I'm glad like people are actually enjoying your game. And like you mentioned earlier, it's like it's a sense of accomplishment when people play your game. You feel really proud of everything you've done. And Joshua, I know you mentioned like music and how that's important. So I know that audio and sound is really important, especially in a horror game, because that really what makes it or breaks it. So do you want to kind of talk about? I'm not sure who in your team was doing the audio, but do you want to kind of talk about how the process was making sounds and background music?
Absolutely. Yeah. So it was both me and Abdu who were the sound designers. I composed most of the music, and he iterated off of it a bit. So really, the process that we had going into like making sound for a horror game is we wanted something that, specifically the way that we wanted our horror game to be, it's really needed to have that atmospheric vibe, kind of like open but also like all encompassing of the game. And it just so we used a lot of orchestral instruments like strings, grand pianos and stuff, just to give it that kind of eerie feel.
Oh, awesome. Like, I'm really glad to hear that. Yeah, I'm always curious about how people do things, especially for horror games, because that's like one of my favorite genres. So I just want to end off by, I know you guys are in your first year. Do you think you've learned any big lessons along the way that you would want to share to other people watching?
The biggest one, time management, and just also like scope, because we had like a handful more levels that we wanted to do, and like that we wanted like implement into the game, but then we looked at the calendar and we're like, oh, I don't think we're gonna be able to do that. So obviously we had to just cut everything down, put what we needed into the parts we did have, and yeah.
Yeah, it's really just that like time management, making sure you get along with your teammates and making sure your teammates get enough rest time as well. Because if you're just going at it for 48 hours straight and you have no rest, you're not gonna like. There's gonna be a bunch of bugs. And
It's gonna be
stuff,
low quality work.
you got to make sure that like your whole team is there and present. Even if it's like a time it's like, I'm feeling sick, I need to rest, I'm sorry I can't make this meeting. It would be like, okay, I completely understand that. Yeah, just come back. I will talk you through what we went through in our meeting, and we'll go from there.
Okay, I'm so happy to hear that you guys are picking up on like scope creep, the importance of like self-care, especially when you are developing games, because it is a lot of effort, definitely takes so much time and takes a toll on like physical health, even mental health. And yeah, it's really, really important to take a break once in a while. So yeah, I'm really glad you guys have learned that lesson already, and I hope you guys continue using it in the future, because I know quite a bit of teams, they still like they face the issue of scope creep like almost every year. So yeah, once again, I'm glad that you guys have picked up on this. But yeah, that's it from me. It was great talking to you guys. Really excited to see more of your game later today. Yeah.
It was great talking to you guys as well, and to the
Yeah, my
audience as
pleasure.
well.
yeah, so thank you guys for joining us. And for the audience, please check out the Beyond by QM Studios. It's a great game, beautiful art, and yeah, be sure to check it out. Yeah,
Why,
thanks, you
thank
guys.
you.
Okay, so that was QM Studios, another first year studio. After that, we're going to do a bit of a jump and we're going to move on to a fourth year studio, Insanity Core, and we're going to talk to them about Blight, one of the games that they've been working on. Okay, so we're here with Insanity Core. Hello, Insanity Core. How are you guys
Hi.
doing today?
Hello.
Pretty
Doing
great.
fantastic.
Nice. I know you guys are fourth year. This might be your very last GameCon. How are you
Oh,
guys
yeah.
feeling?
We're
Feeling
proud of what
old?
we made
I
for
feel
sure.
old.
It's surreal, really. I
Mhm.
remember first year running around inside the bottom floor of one of the faculty buildings, just with our laptops on desks and playing our barely functional games, and yet here we are, just
I
We've
know,
come a
yeah.
long way.
Yeah, you're right. So before we get started, because I know you guys, but for the people that don't know you guys, do you want to quickly introduce yourself, your role, and tell us a little bit about the game you've been working on?
Yeah, sure. So we're actually the founders of Insanity Core. I'm Nathan Boldy, and I mainly specify myself as a technical artist.
Yep, I'm Jack. I'm the creative lead at Insanity Core. I'm also the artist and I'm doing the animations right now, as well as the sprites of the background.
And as for what we're doing, we're currently developing a game called Blight, which is a competitive multiplayer 2D dungeon crawler that turns the concept of boss battles on its head, because we give the player the role of the boss instead of just having an AI boss, which is fairly traditional. All the players begin the game on equal terms, and they quest through a cavernous dungeon and just fight monsters to complete various tasks to eventually earn the favor of the Overlord and become the boss, where they get to slay each other.
Awesome. So, for some of the audience members and also like people in our year, so we know that Blight isn't entirely a new name to us. We've heard about it before. So I want to ask you guys how your concept of Blight has grown over the years, and how, like, what did you do to get it to this point today?
Well, dare I say 3 times the charm, because we started with Blight in first year. It was our first game we made in, I believe, it was either Sprite Lab or Coco Studio.
And the first game I made as a
It
studio.
gets a little blurry. It would have been Coco's, but we started out really ambitious. We wanted to make a full-blown dungeon crawler. We wanted all these story elements, and we
It was
learned
gonna
very...
have like a morality mechanic and different power sets based on what you chose to do, but we didn't just have time at all for that, so anything could go on.
The first harsh lesson that the university taught us was scope creep is very much a thing. So we went from a full dungeon crawler to an arena brawler in the span of 24 hours. But we had fun with it. And that original idea is something we've always kind of internalized. Second year, we had to make our own engines, and we made Blight 3D, which really didn't work too well. But we took a break for it from a year, and then we came back this year. We're like, the original Blight idea we had in first year, with our new skill set, we can totally pull it off. So we went back to our roots and took the tried and true method and have just started adapting it with our current skill set.
Awesome. Well, yeah, it's really cool to see how Blight has developed over the years, and like it keeps getting better and better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned like your skill set and how you think you've developed your skill set enough to make this idea work. So my question kind of related to that is that since you guys are in your 4th year, I'm sure you've made tons of games in the past 4 years. Do you have any advice to give to either people who are looking forward or looking into getting into game development, or any advice for the students that are in the lower years?
Yeah. Oh, who first?
I was
guess
gonna
I'll
say
go.
you first.
All right, sweet. So I've got 2, really. One is you need to do every single game jam you get the opportunity to do. That is one of the best ways to learn, and they're always fun. And no matter the result, you can make the wackiest games and just have fun with it. If you get something that actually builds at the end of 48 hours, you've succeeded at that game jam. And the things you've learned are just not things you learn in a regular development pipeline where you have to care about the end product. You can rapidly iterate and just have a blast. But the other thing I'd say is you really need to take advantage of the opportunity you have being at this university, and specifically this program. This university has the strategic advantage of having small class sizes and a very integrated, just community feeling. And I know that's kind of hard to capture in the middle of a pandemic, but when I went through, it was always about the community feeling and working with each other, learning from each other, and just taking the best advantage of the fact you have tons of skilled individuals working with you, and you can just help each other out. It is the most valuable thing you can possibly do, is just work with each other.
Yeah. The school has a very integrated amount of disciplines. We do art, business, programming. I think we're going to do less business, but art and programming has always been like very solid, especially when you're trying to learn how to integrate these different aspects together. As an artist myself, learning how to get things ready for programmers and get them into the game has always been like a very important thing, one of the most important things to learn. But make sure that you don't like spread yourself too thin and try to do everything at once. If you want to specialize, reach out to your professors and see if they can kind of show you a strong path and like get more out of the program. As well, like don't just stop at what the program offers. You can always like reach out and expand more, look everything up. It's always just gonna help your studies to take it next level if you go above and beyond.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was gonna kind of cut in with Nathan's point about game jams. So shameless plug, since I am part of the GDSA hosts a game jam in the fall semester, and we are also a jam site for the global game jam. And I've done well. Now I try to do almost all of the game jams that we do, and yes, it's a really great way for you to learn new things, work with other people, network with other people. That's also very, very important. So yeah, if you haven't done a game jam before, I highly recommend it. You don't have to be super skilled or anything. Just come out and have a good time.
Yeah, the summer is a fantastic time to do it because you get to reach out to all your friends, come up with something fun over the weekend, and plus there's plenty of time, so you can even do a few in a few weeks if you want to.
Yeah, I know this summer there's the grad jam happening, which isn't necessarily for like graduate students. I'm sure like if you're in third or second year. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
There's another grad jam. That was great.
I believe so. Yes.
Oh,
end of May it's happening. Yeah, so that's also like great opportunity. You don't have to be in fourth year. You can be a third year or second year student, and then I'm sure you can still do that jam. So, anyways, enough about game jams. My next question for you guys is that since we're in fourth year at the moment, there is no GDW4, so we don't really have course requirements or anything. And I know that you guys have been working on Blight through the incubator program or venture creation, because my group is also part of that program. So I want to ask, how has it been like working on a game through venture creation instead of through GDW?
So I think the most stark difference up front is GDW is very structured. It gives you a very strong understanding of the fundamentals. But as a result, there's obviously restrictions that help, organize that education. With the venture creation, we're free to do whatever we want with our game. And having that freedom while still having the support structure of the university, it's just amazing. I don't have any better words for it. It is a phenomenal experience to actually have support while feeling like we're in the industry.
It's like getting marked for doing what you're gonna love to do anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah, so as you heard from Nathan, incubator and venture creation is a great opportunity for those of you going in your fourth year and you think you want to kind of continue with what you're doing and maybe even form a company of your own. That is definitely a great option for those of you. So my last question for you guys is
Actually, could I add on to that?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Of course.
And the other thing is, we are a little bit of a special case. We've been part of the Brilliant Catalyst since our first year.
Yeah.
This is actually our fourth year with the incubator. So for us, it was kind of business as usual. But having the ability to work on the same game without having to worry about meeting other qualifications and requirements it's just been awesome. And for anyone who is feeling like they can take on the responsibility of a more business oriented and trying to bring your ideas further forward in a more professional sense, I highly recommend the Brilliant Incubator. The team is fantastic and they're always there to support you.
Awesome. My last question, I mean, I don't know if we're gonna run out of time or anything, but gonna make it quick. So what do you think is the part that you're most excited to show about your game that you're showcasing today?
Today, I'd say the big focus really for us was actually a massive art asset push. We have our first full game dungeon implemented. Obviously, as with any first release, it's not perfect. There's always going to be problems, but I'm quite happy with the result. And I know Jack is just
the world we built here. It looks amazing. Like it's like all my dreams came true last night, and I woke up a happy man.
Awesome. Yeah, I haven't played Blight just yet, but I will definitely check it out.
I mean, it is networked multiplayer. We could probably play together.
Can she download the build for it?
Oh yeah, it's on the SHIO page. I'll put that in the Twitch chat in a sec.
Oh yeah, go ahead, put it in the chat.
Yeah,
like,
I'll pop it in.
They can set up their own servers. It's gonna work. Hopefully, we'll have a
yeah, you need to connect to Steam. That's the caveat. But
you do it through Steam.
There's your HIO link, people.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for doing that, Nathan.
See you there.
Yeah. Thanks for coming and talking to me. For the audience, check out Blight Networked Multiplayer. So
I will
it'll-
actually
We have
be
a place
hosting
to
a
go to
session.
feedback.
when are you going to be hosting the session? Just
It is currently live. Whoever downloads it first, I've got room for 3 players.
3
And
players.
also,
Okay, whoever's watching, go
do we
ahead.
have a place to
Go
get
crazy.
feedback from them?
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you, Jack. What
Do
did
we
you
have
say?
a place to get feedback from them? Like where do they go if they want to like comment about the game?
After they're done playing, I know they can go on the Showcases channel, or they could just simply DM you, or if
Oh,
you want
yeah.
to set up like a form or anything, or yeah, just talking to them, see what they like, what they
We're
don't
gonna
like.
have the Insanity Core room down at the very bottom of the
Mhm.
Discord channel. If you want to get down and see us and talk to us.
Yeah, we'll be in there for voice.
Oh yeah. All
Okay,
right.
awesome. Thanks, you guys.
No worries.
It was great talking to you.
Anytime.
You
And I
too.
hope a lot of people end up playing your game.
That'll
So,
be
yeah.
fun.
So, yeah, thank you. So everyone check out Blight. Okay, so that was Insanity Core with Blight. Next up, we're going to be talking to Twin Crow, which is a third-year studio with their game Dustbound. Can't wait to talk to them. Okay, so here we are with Twin Crow from third year. Hi, you guys. What's up?
Hi.
We're doing good.
GameCon? Excited? Nervous? Happy?
Nervous.
Scared?
You know, all of the above, I would say.
Yeah, today just a lot of emotions. Both terrified, but you're also really happy. It's good to see everyone else's games.
Also really tired.
Be sure to rest after. Sleep
Yeah,
for as
for
long as
sure.
you need to. Okay, so I know you guys, but some of our audience does not know you. So I'm gonna ask you to quickly introduce yourself, your roles, and also tell us a little bit about Dustbound.
Okay, my name is Edward Chow. I am the project manager of Twin Crow.
I'm Hunter Chu. I'm the lead programmer of Twin Crow.
And I'm Dhruva Guruprasad, and I'm the lead artist.
And Dustbound is our game is a third-person action-adventure fantasy game with roguelike elements and souls-like combat. In Dustbound, players can explore dangerous desert islands, scavenging for lost supplies, money, secrets, and ancient relics, while fighting both the enemies and the heat strokes, standing between them and the boss.
Awesome. I've actually seen a bit of your game. I was at your review, and I did watch someone play it earlier, and it's looking amazing. And I know I've told you guys this before, but when I was in my third year, we worked on a game called Obelisk, which is like almost too similar to your guys' game. So like me and my group, we just kind of joke around that Twin Crow copied us. They made Obelisk too.
Made Obelisk too.
So my question to go along with that is, where did you guys get your inspiration from, or are there any other games that you looked at and tried to get any other inspiration from?
So the original inception of the entire idea was a fever dream that I had in second year. It's wild, but taking the fever dream, we built on top of it, and the next logical conclusion was, what if we made Journey, but with knives? And that was like the very base of the idea itself. When it comes to gameplay and different art, decisions and inspirations. I know Druva took a lot of inspirations from other different games. So I'll let him talk about those.
Yeah, the main inspiration for the art originally came from Darksiders because I didn't really play many stylized games. Then I started like looking at Risk of Rain and Journey, and it kind of just went from there. And yeah.
Well, awesome. I know when I saw your game, like it looks so cool. Like I love all of the art. It looks great. So, I know you guys have incorporated a lot of different elements and mechanics into your game. So I want to ask, what's your favorite parts? I know answer can be different for all three of you.
Favorite part of the game. I gotta think about this. Hunter, Drew, do you have any?
Yeah, I think for me the coolest part about the game is the abilities, mainly just because the VFX were cool to look at and they were fun to do. So I think that would be my pick for like the coolest thing in the game, or the thing that I like the most.
Abilities are really cool.
Oof. I think Hunter's internet may have cut out, so
Yeah,
until
he's
he gets
frozen on
back.
my screen.
All right. So I'll just give you my answer while he reconnects. Then, though it's not an official feature of the game, one of the things that I found a lot of fun was the fact that our item drops have physics, and there's a lot of weird things you can do with them that are completely unintentional but incredibly fun.
It's a feature. It's not a bug.
It's intended.
Yeah,
All game design.
It's a good feature. Yeah, our programmers, our gameplay programmers did a lot of like really cool, smaller stuff. There's a lot of like abilities.
Yeah, it's
kinda like
looking
small
great.
things.
Oh, sorry. I thought you kind of stopped. Continue.
Yeah, they're all kind of like small things, but they do help a lot. Like I really enjoyed doing the general movement gameplay feel. Like it feels really nice to move around. Usability, use your items. Really enjoyed the movement.
Yeah, I saw that the animations were really smooth. So who was the animator? How was that like getting them to work?
Big secret out of the bag. A lot of the animations are Mixamo animations, but then just tweaked on a different like rig and such. But that was essentially it. Because I can't animate. We didn't have an animator. And I didn't want to drop the ball on animation, so that was like my only other option. But it ended up working pretty fine. Like I was able to tweak the animations enough to the point where everything felt somewhat fluid. So yeah, that was essentially it for animation.
Well, yeah, I didn't know that you took Mixo animations as a base, but they're still looking fantastic. I'm sure because of the tweaks that you made. I know the roll one. That's one I really liked.
Oh yeah, we made a good amount of tweaks for that one, and then we played around with like animation speed in Unity, and then that's how we got it perfect.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so since you guys have so many things happening in your game, which is incredible, by the way, I don't even know how you managed to pull it off by trying to have so many things. But I'm sure when you were working on your game, you came across any big issues, any challenges, and what did you do to kind of overcome those challenges?
Oh, there's so many.
Just pick one or two.
Druva, I know there's been a lot of problems with art. Do you want to go first, and then Hunter, I'll let you go next, and I'll think of like the really big ones that we've been trying to fix.
Okay, so number one, the biggest issue has always been the cloth physics. I know we've had it in for a while, but I couldn't ever figure out how to get the cloth looking perfect, like compared to some other like games that do it. And I don't know if it's just like other projects having, you know, packages or something that makes the cloth physics work, but we got it to a decent point, but it's still like an issue where it like clips through the colliders and just goes haywire sometimes, honestly. So yeah, that was big issue number one. And then issue number two was a lot of VFX issues. Like we would have like in terms of burst particle spawns, we'd have like thousands of particles spawn even though it was like set to 100, and like in a burst. So there was that issue, but luckily we were able to figure that out. And yeah, that was essentially the second biggest issue for art.
In terms of programming in the game, you did mention that we do have a lot of different things that we put into the game, but we had just as many things that we had to go get scrapped. Notably, we had like a weapon system planned, and you can still see the models for knives we plan to use in the game, but unfortunately we couldn't on the player to use. And like another thing, we had a few other different roguelike inspired aspects. Like we had a pseudo random level generator that ended up getting scrapped to the due to a need to focus on polishing the end result we have. We still kept a few things, the random drops for chests. Other big thing was networking. Was
Oh yes, third year networking.
unfortunately we weren't able to really get networking going just because we ended up underestimating how much that we had to put in the game, that we had to network the game. So we mostly focused on trying to make the best thing we could.
Mhm.
A few other things for networking. It's just there is a lot of stuff you have to think about with networking if you want to try and implement it, especially after we already built our base semester and had to build on top of that.
Mhm. Well, even though, oh sorry, go ahead, Edward.
Sorry.
Yeah, no.
Like the last thing I wanted to bring in was I remembered that the game itself it has gone through multiple different like iterations and versions of the game. So I think technically between first and second semester, the entire game changed. Because in first semester we had a lot of trouble figuring out like a bunch of like smaller design details, such as how the level should be designed, where the enemy should be placed, how like progression should work. And after a lot of iterations, at the very end of semester one, after the fall expo, we scrapped all of that and then went in favor of putting everything to the sky because they're smaller, more contained, they're easier to design, and we had to go from there and also like rework a lot of our existing mechanics to fit with the our new path forward.
After hearing you say that, I'm feeling a lot of deja vu because we were in like when I was in third year, we were in the similar boat where our game in first semester was completely different than the second semester one. Yeah. So, are you guys sure you're not copying my third year game? I need to know. Just kidding.
Yo, you know what they say? Great minds think alike. I told that to Josh, and it's
You're
true.
right. So I know you guys listed like a lot of things that you had issues with, but honestly, your game looks fantastic. So I guess through those problems you grow and you learn a lot more, especially when you are developing a game. So I think that's it from me for you guys today. It was great talking to you. Dustbound looks fantastic. I'll say it once again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So good luck for the rest of GameCon. Everyone in the audience, be sure to check out Dustbound. Yeah. So thanks, you guys, once
I'll
again.
be sure to put the link in the chat so people can access it quickly. And that will be it for us for today.
Yeah, thank you for doing that.
Thank you for having us.
Okay. Okay, so that was Twin Crow with Dustbound. Next up, we're going to be talking to LF Studios, which is another first-year studio, and we're going to talk to them a bit about Project Flow, their project, or their game, sorry. Okay, so here we are with LF Studios. Hi, you guys. How are you
Hey,
doing today?
I'm doing excellent.
Okay, nice,
Super
nice.
excited about today. Yeah.
Yeah, this you guys are first year, right? So
Yeah.
very first GameCon. Excited, nervous. I know I'm asking a lot of groups this,
I
but
know. For me,
Alright,
for me,
go ahead.
I'm just super excited about this. Something I'm super looking forward to. Because before I even got to the school, I'd heard about it, and my friends who went here, they're like, it's a really cool event. I see it every year, and it's just exciting. So I was like, okay, well, that's gonna be super fun when I get there. So.
Awesome.
Yeah, for me, I'm a bit nervous, but also pretty excited to see how it's going through and showcasing what we've been working on throughout the entire semester.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people have said this, but it's like super, like you feel super proud after you're seeing the game, and it's like all of that hard work and effort actually, like it was worth it at the end. Okay, so I've talked to you guys. So for our audience, do you want to introduce yourselves, your roles in the development of your game, and also tell us a little bit about Project Flow?
So I'll go first. I'm Ricardo Prado. I was the director of this entire project, making sure that everything was done on task and on time. I also was the artist for the background and the sprites in the game, not the character sprites, but the background and the level itself. And it also does make sure implementing all the sprites, make sure that everything looked good within the actual game. So on to Peter.
Yeah. And I was responsible for some of the game design and the programming. I helped program the enemy AI as well as the player controller.
Okay, awesome. And a summary of Project Flow?
Yeah, so Project Flow, our initial goal with the game was to create something that was really simple to execute, but we'd be able to polish it up and make it really clean so that when people actually get to play it, it's not going to be a collection of a lot of small pieces that don't really meld together super well, but instead is a bunch of really simple pieces that fit together to just create a really good final product. And I think we succeeded in that, and we're super happy with how it turned out. But forgot to mention, it's a 2D action platformer. One of our main mechanics is like a grappling hook, and so we use that to kind of create a really fun movement system.
Awesome. Yeah, I actually saw someone play your game for a little bit, and yeah, the grappling hook is pretty fun. Really interesting. So I'm curious, how did you guys come up with the idea for Project Flow, and are there any games that you took like any inspiration from?
So I'll just go. Funnily enough, that this whole entire hook mechanic that we wanted, it was something that everyone sort of had in their mind when we first came together. And it's like, all right, what do you guys want to do? And everyone was like, yeah, you know what, we want a hook in our game. Like everyone was just like, yeah, that's what I was thinking too. So it was really funny when that happened. Main inspirations would be 2D, other 2D sky scrollers like Mario, like Sonic, but something that me personally, I've always wanted something like a bit more movement in there, like being able to reach in terms of verticality. So being able to fly around and sort of have that sort of freedom of expression in terms of movement. So that's really what we were aiming for with this game. And overall, I think that we achieved it to a very successful degree.
Just to add to that, I know for me personally, one of the games that I was really inspired by was Mirror's Edge. Just how smooth the movement is in that game, I was like, that's something that is so simple, but they just built on it, and they create a fantastic game. So that's a big inspiration for me.
Awesome. I know there has to be a few people in audience that I know are avid Mirror's Edge fans, so I'm happy that you guys took inspiration from that, and I hope they're happy as well. So I know this is your very first big game project. So are there any challenges that you came across? Did something go wrong? And what did you do to help fix it?
What didn't go wrong?
Everything went wrong. But biggest thing that I feel like should be known is that about the communication, making sure that everyone in your group knows exactly what they're doing. Making sure that you don't sort of leave it up to sort of one person's imagination, that everyone is on the same page. That's really important, because I know there's a couple times when I was like, oh hey, just sort of do this, and I was very vague about it, and I didn't really explain too much detail of what I wanted, because even I wasn't sure, right? So everyone sort of has their own vision when you say something to them. So they'll do something that they think is right, but overall doesn't fit the game or what should be in the game. So just making sure that you yourself as like a project manager or whatever, you know exactly what the game is going to be like. Having that vision, it's so important and really just key. And yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I mean, if I had to add to that, I'd just say, make sure you have a good relationship with all your group mates, because the better your relationship with them is, and the more you can spend time with them personally, the better everything's gonna flow.
Yeah, definitely. It's so good to kind of build like a bond between your team, just so like working together seems or flows a lot easier. So yeah, I'm glad you guys have learned those lessons very early on. So I know Hader, you said, am I saying that right?
Hi there.
Hi there. Okay.
Yeah.
So I know you mentioned that you were excited about GameCon. So are there any other games you're excited to play or that are available on the show floor that you recommend other people to check out as well?
There's a whole, but I gotta check the the GameCon page because I don't know them by name.
Oh no, just
but I know
anything at the top of your head. The first thing that
Mecca
pops up.
Mayhem, JJ's game, that looks fantastic. There's multiplayer in it. Looks really interesting. So I'm excited to try that one out myself with some friends.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. So I think that's. Oh yeah, go ahead, Ricardo.
Sorry, but for me, the game that I was like really excited when I saw was like this ferret game. I forget what's it called. It's like yeah, but basically you play as like this ferret and you're like moving around and stuff. It's a multiplayer game.
Season's Greetings, first year.
No. You play as like a ferret. Like
I think it's a third year game.
Ferret. I thought you said fairy, and I was like, wait.
Oh,
ferret.
No. Yeah, I forget
forgot.
called.
Maybe someone. Oh, Business of Bandits. Yes.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that one looked really cool to me. It looked really goofy, and I really like that sort of approach to games. Just sort of like something that just fun to sort of like mess around with and see what you can do.
Yeah, I've seen the ferret physics, and yes, I agree. They're very amusing. It's a lot of fun. Okay, so that's all for me. I had a really good time talking to you guys. Thank you for coming. Thank you for talking to me. Everyone in audience, please check out Project Flow. I know they've worked quite a bit on this, and I agree the grappling hook is really cool. So just play the game for that as well. It's a lot of fun to use. All right, so
yeah, I went ahead and linked it in the chat. So.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So I'll see you guys at some point later. Good luck for the rest of GameCon then.
All right.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
And hope everyone has a great GameCon.
Okay, so that was LF Studios with Project Flow. Moving on, we're going to be talking to Getting Closer to Retirement Studios. Amazing name, by the way, with Birthday Splash Bash. This is a second-year team. Okay, so here we are with Getting Closer to Retirement Studios. So hi, you guys. What's going on? How are you guys doing?
Doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Really excited to see. There's so many cool games that are being showcased today. And before, I was a little bit bummed out that GameCon wasn't happening in person. But honestly, even though it's virtual, like it's still a great event so far. So I've talked to you guys before, but a lot of people they don't know who you are. So if you quickly want to introduce yourself, what role you had in your game, and also tell us a little bit about Birthday Splash Bash.
Okay, I'm Anita, and I am the project manager as well as the technical artist. And our game is called Birthday Splash Bash, and it's a 1v1 game based on Dunce's 8th birthday, which is our main character. And sadly, no one showed up to his birthday party, so his parents forced his sister to attend. But after feasting on the birthday cake, there was only one slice left. So the only way to settle who got the last slice of cake was through a super wet water gun shootout.
My name is Trey Cowell. I am the game designer and a little bit of programming, not too much, but got thrown into that camp. And yeah, we're getting closer to retirement studios.
Awesome. So I've seen a bit of your game. I was at your review, DDW review presentation, and I love the concept. I love like just the idea of it. So I'm curious, how did you come up with that idea? Do you have any like fun stories of how you came up with like the main mechanic of your game?
Rather than the mechanic, we wanted to focus more on the modeling since we are a bit weak on the programming side. Our first game was very, very lighthearted and very friendly, and we wanted to keep that concept onto our next game, which was this year. The colors are very bright, very child friendly, and we got our inspiration from games like Splatoon. We have a lot of tank controls, which a lot of people are always saying when they play our games, and a lot of the art style comes from Animal Crossing because it's very soft and very light.
Okay, awesome. I'm really glad to hear that because I was genuinely very curious about how you guys came up with the idea because it's not you don't really see games like that too often. So I want to ask, what do you think is the best part about your game, or do you have any favorite part? I know like it can be different for both of you.
I think it's just the models. The models are beautiful. I think our modelers did a great job.
I'm actually personally really excited about how our game plays. Like the movement's really smooth. Some people don't really like the tank controls, but I feel like it's a unique experience that like not many people have had before, so I think it's really enjoyable.
Okay, awesome. So do you have any wisdom to share with everyone watching, with anyone watching?
Definitely get your bonds together with your members, get your communication down because make sure the aura is nice and very friendly, or else that definitely will get in the way in the long run.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because I with the previous team too, like getting to kind of work with your team and forming those bonds is really important when you are working together on such a big project. So I hope everyone who's listening keep that in mind. Very important tip. But I guess that's all for me today. It was great talking to you guys. Birthday Splash Bash looks very fun. To the audience, please check it out. It's super cute. The art is super nice. And it's a really unique game. So be sure to check it out. It was great talking to you guys.
Thank you. Especially watch our trailer. A lot of people rave about it, so it'd be nice if everyone can look at it too.
Okay, listen to Anita. Watch your trailer.
I will put it in the Twitch chat.
Oh yes, go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so that was Getting Closer to Retirement Studios. I will just call them GCR for short. Next up, we have another second year team, Baby Phoenix, with their game Blizzard. Alrighty, we have Baby Phoenix here with us. So hi guys, how's it going?
Doing well. Yeah, thanks.
Doing good.
Enjoying today so far?
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a
so
lot of good
recently,
games
yeah,
out
it's
there.
been hectic
Right?
for a bit, but yeah.
Yeah.
Morning is a little hectic. Yeah.
It's a day filled with like every emotion possible, but I think it's super worth it at the end. So I've talked to you guys before, but for our audience members, do you quickly want to introduce yourself, what role you had while making your game, and also tell us a little bit about Blizzard?
Yeah. We can
Well,
go in
so
order from
I'm
here.
IE, and I was a programmer for Blizzard.
My name is Mernong. So I was also the programmer for Berserk, and I did some of the sound design as well.
My name's Sean. I'm the project manager, and I also did a lot of the 3D arts. Yeah.
Oh, a quick summary of Blizzard.
Oh yeah, that's right. So
In terms of Blizzard, it's basically it's kind of like our modern take on some of the older space shooters, kind of like Galaga, except we've kind of transformed it into a 3D plane. And we took a little bit of inspiration from Star Fox as well. So instead of being like a rail shooter, you have a nice space kind of universe that you can fly through and freely explore the planets. You have enemies that are flying around. And the goal of the game is essentially to defeat the enemy aliens that are invading universes and make yourself to the final level.
Okay, awesome. You guys actually answered my question before I even asked it. I was gonna bring up a point that because I was at your review presentation and I have seen your game being played. It reminds me a lot of, I'm not sure if you're familiar with this, in the Kingdom Hearts games, the gummy ship.
Yes.
Your game,
That
when
was
I
one of
saw
the
it, it
things,
immediately
yeah.
reminded me of that. So I was like wondering if you guys had maybe taken inspiration from that. But you answered my question.
part of it for sure, because that is one of
Okay,
my favorite
nice.
games growing up. So yeah.
Okay, nice. That I'm glad. I know you mentioned Star Fox and stuff, but I'm glad that you meant that you took inspiration from Kingdom Hearts as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so my next question for you guys is when you were working on your game or up until now, what is your favorite part of your game or a part that you are most proud to showcase to everyone today?
I'll definitely take that part when I say that I think the visuals that we were able to create for this game ended up was more than what we were expecting. As the creator, we didn't expect so much like praise from other people to say that it was good. So we're kind of just really proud that like visually our game looks like amazing in other people's words, to borrow it. But obviously there's a lot of things that I would like to tweak and here and there, but I'm glad that everyone's able to enjoy and be able to have the gameplay actually match the experience as well from what you see in Berserk. So yeah.
Anything else from the two other members?
I definitely think the art is one of the things that stands out a lot in our game, more so than anything else, because of the kind of like unique low poly feel that we went for with our game. Other than that, I think the sound design also, I'm gonna plug myself a little bit, but I think the sound design was very well done. It was a little bit last minute that we had to rush to get things set up in terms of the code for the Fmod, but a lot of time was put into actually making like the background music and the sound effects.
I would like to give a shout out to the our AI programmer Farhan, who's not here, but I think he did a really good job separating the different three bosses that we have and giving them each their own unique kind of talents and abilities, and you have to approach them a different way so the player would always feel like there's something new going on. That was really nice.
Okay, nice, perfect. I'm happy that you guys have a lot of parts that you're proud of, because I know sometimes when you're working on your own game, you often see like the negatives or the faults of the game
Yeah,
instead of the
for sure.
positives. So it's good to see that you guys are, proud of a lot of the work that you've done, which you should be. The game's looking great. My last question, very quickly. So, you guys are in your second year, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, are there any major lessons that you have learned? Any wisdom you would like to share to anyone who's in first year, or anyone who's interested in joining game dev?
I think I'll start off. I think a big part of game dev in general is just to keep on track with a schedule.
Yeah.
So make sure you have a schedule planned out and try to meet those deadlines. If you don't, make sure you find out right away how to solve that problem within the next deadline, so you don't keep falling behind over and over again and trying to play catch up the entire time.
Awesome. Good tips being shared.
On my part, I think one thing to keep in mind would be also to make sure that you're really good with your research, because like whether it's programming or something in Blender with 3D modeling, sometimes like there's certain concepts or certain things that you're trying to do that aren't documented really well, and you need to be able to like really dig it out from different places.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's also a lot of individual dependence when it comes to like trying to make sure that you get done, like what you were saying, make sure you get the things that you need to be that you need to get done first, and then make sure you're constantly talking to your team just for updates for anything that's changing. I think the experience overall of actually being a part of game development so far is that it's been thrilling. You're never gonna see a downside. It's like you go against an obstacle. That'll probably be from when it comes to programming or art or anything. But like there's a lot of hype to it. Like you're always at it, and it doesn't feel like it stops. But when in the end, you'll take a look back and you're like, wow, this is what we've done, and it's kind of crazy how far we've come from.
Mm-hmm.
So it's enjoyable from that aspect for sure.
Awesome. That's great to hear. I'm really proud of you guys, and thank you for sharing a lot of advice. I hope our audience appreciates it. It was definitely good stuff to share. But other than that, that's all from me. I had a great time talking to you guys, and Blizzard, like I mentioned, looks fantastic. And audience members, please check out Blizzard. I know they've put in their heart and soul into this project. So yeah, it was great talking to you.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much,
Oh,
Summer.
of course. Okay, so that was Baby Phoenix with Blizzard. Next on our second last group that we're going to be interviewing today is Jam Packed Interactive, a third year group, and they're going to be showcasing Project Inca today. Okay, so here we are with Jam Packed Interactive. Hello, everyone. How are we doing today?
Hey, good. Good. How are you?
Doing pretty good. I've seen a lot of cool stuff today, and I know the main show is going to happen later, so a lot more cool stuff happening after. So I know who you guys are. I've talked to you all multiple times. So for those that don't know, if you guys want to quickly introduce yourself, what role you had while making your game, and also tell us a little bit about Project Inca.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm Christian. I'm the project manager and also the sound designer.
Marcus, I am the art lead for the game.
What up? I'm Matt. I do gameplay and AI programming and game design.
Yeah, so the game we're making is called Project Inca, or Inca, as it's up there. And it's a 1 to 3 player roguelike FPS game where you're gonna you and up to 2 other people are gonna go through this ancient Mayan temple, and you're gonna find weapons, collect upgrades for those weapons, shoot some monsters, going deeper and deeper into the temple to find the treasure within, and you're gonna fight a big old boss at the end as well.
Awesome. I've seen a bit of your game. I'm sure a lot of the people watching have also seen the game, and it looks really great. But the first thing that pops into my mind when I see Project Inca is it's a combination of 2 like very different things. Like you wouldn't really see them together. Like FPS elements, but you're like in an ancient temple. So I'm curious, how did you guys come up with the idea? Do you have any stories of how you came up with, the main mechanics of the game?
Yeah, I can take this. So in terms of theming, that's more on Marcus, because he kind of came up with the sort of setting that our game's gonna take place in. But just in terms of like the genre, basically just like really enjoying games like Binding of Isaac and Enter the Gungeon, like these roguelike games. Uh, just the variety and the synergies, like it's really really unique, really cool experience, and then like just the inherent satisfying gameplay of a first person shooter. And we thought, why not try to bring these two together?
Yeah, makes sense. I think you guys are like, there's a few groups that have been inspired by Binding of Isaac, so clearly that is a game that a lot of game devs look up to. So it's good to see that a lot of people, still enjoy that game. My next question for you guys, since I know you've been working on this for a long time, and I know you've been spending long hours on this, what is the part that you're most excited to showcase today? Because I know there is a lot to see in Inca.
Froge.
Yeah,
I do love the
agree.
Froge.
Yeah, I think for me personally, it's the art. Granted, I am the artist, so it makes sense. But it's always good to show off what you've been working so hard on, no matter how it really turned out in the end. And just for people to see that is always rewarding.
Yeah, like I think for me, we finally got a bunch of sound effects in there that I've been working on, so those are all good. And we've got like our cinematic guy Chris, and he also does other art, but we got a cinematic in there which looks awesome. And I even think for me, I think art's probably the most exciting thing for me, because I just seeing it all come together, it just looks so awesome. So I'm really really proud of the art guys for pulling through.
Yeah, I saw someone play Inca earlier today, and yes, it's looking beautiful. And I agree, the Froge is also amazing. All of the characters are. So this is just because I'm curious, because I also sometimes work. Well, I mostly work as an artist on my GDW team. So, how like how did you kind of come up with the concept for the enemies? Like, why did you specifically decide on like the frog, the spider?
So with the original theme, we wanted to kind of mix past and present. So I was going to do some weird robotic with some ancient temple stuff, and it kind of devolved from there into what we have now. But it led us into Mixtecan mythology, and so a lot of our enemies are based on ancient Mixtecan myths, I guess. So they're gods, they're enemies. So Froge would be, it's called a Cuyatl, and it's a warrior frog. And then the big alligator guy, for example, is called a Yahui, and that's an alligator warrior they had. So that's where a lot of our inspiration came from.
That's awesome. I'm really glad to hear that. Like, okay, what else can I ask you guys? So, I know you guys are in your third year. So, do you have any lessons or anything major that you learned that you would like to share with everyone regarding development, regarding anything?
I think, especially with our group, I think we do tend to leave a few, like, too many things like at the last minute. Like, we made a lot of progress in this game in like the last week or so, and especially like in the last couple days leading up to this. So, maybe try to spread that out a little bit over the year. I know it's hard getting distracted by assignments and other schoolwork and stuff, but that's probably a big thing that we'll try to do in the future for leading into the next year and stuff. I think that's a big thing.
Yeah. Maybe not 300 commits in 4 days, but
Oh, that's too much.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, just GDW grind. It's great. Build up your portfolio. Do whatever you can. Put in the work in it. I mean, for me, it feels very rewarding. So I'd say, just GDW grind.
Okay, awesome. I think that's all for me then. Yeah, it was really great talking to you guys. And Project Inca looks fantastic, I will say once again. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being part of the interview.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, of course. So audience members, please check out Project Inca. It is fantastic. Game feel is amazing. Art is beautiful. So yes, be sure to check out. If actually one of you guys wants to drop the link in Itch, because I know some people, not Itch, sorry, in the Twitch chat, because I know some people are asking.
Yeah, I got it. Throw it up there.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. So yeah, good luck, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your GameCon today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Looking forward to what GDSA's got for us.
Okay, so that was jam-packed with Project Inca, and now we finally reached the last team that we're going to be interviewing today. Last but definitely not least, we're going to be talking with Sobek Games, which is our second, fourth year team, and we're going to learn a little bit about their game Decamp. Okay, so here we are with our last team interview for today, or for the pre-show at least, Sobek Games. So how are you guys doing?
Pretty
Pretty
good.
good.
How are you?
Excited to show people.
I'm excited about Decamped. I know you guys are in your fourth year, so this is technically your last GameCon. So how are you guys feeling?
Excited and
A
also
little
sad.
bit, yeah, a little bittersweet, especially because we can't do it in person. And
Yeah.
obviously, I know the first years might not know yet, but it's a lot of fun to do it in person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope next year it can be in person, and then hopefully I can come visit, and I'll feel young again.
Yeah.
So I know you guys. You guys are my friends. But for our audience, do you quickly want to introduce yourself? What role you had in your game, and also tell us a little bit about the game you've been working on.
All right, so I'm Adam. I was the lead artist on the project.
I'm Jessica, and I was a technical artist on the project.
And I'm Ricky. I'm the project manager on the project. We also have 4 members that aren't in interview right now, which is Ishvar, programmer. We got Medhat and Abhishek, which are animators, and Shai, which is our concept artist. So yeah. So Decamped is a first-person puzzle exploration game that finds the player in a desolate world. After a large storm, the player wakes up and finds that everyone is missing. It's up to the player to find out what happened to the town of Deckner. Decamp features environmental puzzles with various mechanics where the player essentially has to find a way through these environments using what's given to them. We also feature a narrative-rich story that kind of unravels throughout the course of the game. And that's pretty much it. It's Decamp.
Okay, awesome. So I already know a little bit about Decamp, but I want to ask you guys, because we don't really see a lot of games that have an emphasis on narrative and story, so it's really cool to see that Decamp has been doing that. So I want to ask, where you guys, or are there any other games that you got your inspiration from, or like how did you come up with the idea for Decamp in the first place?
Yeah, so we started Decamped in the incubator program, and we knew like we wanted to do something narrative heavy because it's something we haven't done before.
Mhm.
So, because in the past we've done a lot of like action focused, stylized focus games, Atomic Brawl and all of that. So we wanted to try something new, which is the puzzle setting and the whole, overgrown, desolate type of world. The first game we looked to, of course, was The Last of Us, like a perfect thing to look forward to. A lot of like vines growing everywhere, like the place is empty. So that's where we kind of looked visually. Mechanically, we used games like The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, What Remains of Edith Finch, these type of puzzle games that are sort of like a little bit of walking simulators, but also just focus on the narrative and using the mechanics to push everything forward.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So I know I might be wrong, but I believe at GameCon today, I think Decamped is the only game that's made in Unreal Engine. I might be wrong. I'm not sure. I will assume you guys are the only people who have worked in Unreal. So since that's not very common, so do you guys have any advice for those that are looking to work in Unreal? Do you have any like how has your experience working in Unreal been?
Yeah, the experience has been really good because it was our like all of our first time using it, so it was just like we were learning together and like starting it together. It was definitely a good change from Unity because we used the Unity all throughout university, obviously. Tips I would give is like, yeah, don't be scared of it. There's a lot of documentations and tutorials online. Like the best thing to do is just to jump into it and just watch a couple tutorials and just kind of play around with it. Start by making maybe like a game like from start to finish in Unreal, because if you want to learn it, because doing that you learn like a lot of the all the features that it has to offer. If you're an artist, I would definitely recommend you try Unreal because a lot of the coding is node based. So if you want to make a game and you're more an artist and you don't really know a lot of programming, if it's with the nodes, you can make it with visual scripting instead of having to like script it out with like C++ or C#. And then obviously if you're a programmer as well, you can like combine the nodes and then the C++ coding together. But yeah, I just jump into it. Don't be scared.
That is good advice. That makes me feel a little bit better because I know I used to be very intimidated by Unreal because it seemed like something so serious, so formal. So, yeah, it's good that there is a lot of documentation for it, and then artists like me can easily use it as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I've seen Decamped from like when you initially started working on it up until now. So, are there any parts like what is the part that you're most excited about, or the part that you're most proud of for each of you?
I kind of have a little bit of two here. First of all, I'm very excited about the story. I think we tried really hard on the story, and the whole thing kind of started looking at the story, not really the mechanics. So I'm excited for people to be able to see that, and also the fact that me and Jess did most of the art, but we also had Shy doing some models as well. And I'm very proud of the fact that I don't think you'd be able to tell which assets I did and which assets Shy did and which assets Jess did. I think we were able to have a very clean style, I guess, throughout the entire game that is consistent.
For me, I think like just the environment in general. I think I can speak for Adam when like this was like the first time we were both making like modeling like a huge map or many different large maps, and I'm proud that we got it done, and I think it looks really good, and I'm really proud of how it looks. And yeah, just to be able to create like really big scenes and make it look well for our first time.
Yeah, for myself, this might sound kind of corny, but I'm actually proud of the team and the project itself. Like we did work really hard. The fact that this is like our first experience with Unreal Engine, you know, like the first few months we were still learning it, and the fact that within a year we were able to make this project and make it happen, you know, especially from like a project management standpoint, like seeing everything come together, it's like it just makes me very proud and did a really hard job. So hopefully you guys can see that with our game.
Yeah. I'm proud of you guys too, because I've known you for a long time. So since we are in our final year, which is very bittersweet, I've seen all of the games that all of us have been working on in our past 4 years at university. So I want to ask if you have any general advice to give to those in the lower years.
I would say do not be afraid to fail with a lot of things, like especially like Atomic Brawl was our second year OpenGL game. A lot of people seem to like that, but like looking back, like I'm ashamed of it at this point. Like I don't like looking at it, but how much we learned from that experience and how much we learned from our third year game would not like making Decamped would not have been possible if we didn't go through those things, the first year game and the second year game and the third year game. So even if your project isn't that great this year, you maybe don't feel it's like up to your standards, it really doesn't matter. It's all what you took from the experience.
I would say like don't be scared to ask for help. I think like interacting with like other groups outside of your own GDW group or whatever group you're working in is like really valuable. Like you get to like talk to other people and share ideas that you maybe are like outside of your group, which is like, you know, you get comfortable with your own group, so you kind of know everyone's like ideas, and being able to interact with people outside of your group, you get to explore your horizons and different ideas you could do and people you talk to, and then you can make some really cool friends. Like definitely by interacting with other people, we've made like really good friends along the way, and everyone's here to help you, so don't be scared to ask for help.
Yeah, I would definitely say don't be afraid to try new things. Just like with Unreal Engine 2, me myself, I'm not an amazing programmer. I never really was, but working with Unreal Engine has kind of taught me a little bit more now that it's a visual scripting based. I've kind of learned a lot from that, and I feel like even if you're in first year or second year, if you think you only have to focus on OpenGL or something like Unity, don't feel like that. Definitely branch out, explore other options. There's a lot of engines out there. There's a lot of coding languages out there, and it's always good to branch out, especially during the summer. If you're not doing anything, why not try something new, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, those are all great pieces of advice. I hope the audience is taking note, physically or mentally. But I guess that's all from me for you guys today. I want to quickly ask you guys if you want to copy and paste the itch link, and I know you guys have a Steam page. If you just want to drop the links in the Twitch chat, because I know people are asking for it.
Yeah, we got you should be on the ready for putting those links in.
Okay,
in addition
perfect.
to those links, there is a Google form link in there. This is for the OnTech U students. If you want a chance to win a copy of Decamp when it comes out the end of April, just put your email in there, and yeah, you can perhaps win a key of Decamp. So,
Yeah. And don't forget to wish now.
Oh yeah, wish list on
Wish,
Steam.
follow.
You guys are very generous to be giving out keys. Well, a giveaway, but very nice of you. But yeah, it was great talking to you guys today.
Thank
I
you
hope
very much, Safa.
Thank you.
You're
You did,
welcome.
yeah, you did a great job since we're the last group. Good job for everybody else.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot to me. Okay, yeah, thank you so much for coming today, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much, Sobek Games. And that brings us to the end of the pre-show. I hope you all had a great time seeing all of the amazing and talented students we have at the Game Dev program at Ontario Tech. Our main show will be starting very, very shortly, and we have a lot of cool stuff in store for you guys, so please stay tuned for that. So yeah, once again, thank you for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the rest of GameCon. We're gonna quickly show a supercut trailer of all of the games that are being showcased today. And yeah, I had a really great time talking to all of the teams today. So yeah, bye everyone. See you guys later.